Hey yo, what up, Don?
Samuel here.
We are the Soul Brothers. How you guys doing?
What's up?
We're gonna talk about categories in performance basketball shoes, meaning cushion, right? Well, let's just name all the categories and which ones may be the best, just to. It might help you guys when deciding to buy a shoe.
Yes.
As people who have tested hundreds of shoes and played basketball, nearly every day. We're trying to help you guys out here. So let's break down all the different categories of a performance basketball shoe.
Yes. So we have traction, fit, materials, cushion, support/lockdown, ventilation, durability, aesthetics, and weight.
Mm-hmm. Now, I feel like most people, the first thing they go for is aesthetics.
Yes.
Most people, until you start, or maybe if you start really getting into playing a ton of basketball, and you're really looking to take care of your feet and your legs and have a good performer, you might start veering away from just purely aesthetics. But I feel like aesthetics are always a big part of a shoe.
Yes.
Of a choice.
That's understandable.
People make, which is understandable too. But for us, a lot of times it's just, we don't so much care about aesthetics. I like to have a good shoe aesthetically, but I need a good performer. I have to. I can never choose aesthetics over performance.
Exactly.
Ever. So some of these categories can be deal breakers, and some of them can't. So some of the categories that are just kind of won't ruin a shoe or what?
Weight. If it's way too heavy, and of course, but they're never going to do that.
Yeah.
So weight, I feel like is okay. Aesthetics, no. Durability, not really.
Yeah.
Unless it's really bad. But the worst durability shoe is a Crazy Explosive that I've ever felt, and it's still pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Ventilation is, of course, no. You can just play a few points and take it off. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be a huge, unless it's like super hot. And the hottest shoe I think I played in is Jordan 13, and that's still like not crazy horrible. You can deal with it. You're gonna sweat a lot. Maybe you'll get an extra blister or two, but just double sock. And exactly.
These things are just more annoying,
Yeah.
than anything else. What else?
I feel like the next section we're going to is medium okay. It's like they can fuck it up, but if they do, it's not a huge deal.
It's not necessarily a deal breaker.
Exactly. So that would be materials.
Right.
You can use like some fuse, maybe like in the KT2s it has a lot of fuse, but it softens up. Curry 2 has like that synthetic material, leather, stuff like that. But that breaks in stuff,
But if used right, any of those materials can be
very good.
I'm
just thinking like foam posits.
Those
are bad. I can't stand that shit, but just other materials, they're okay, so they're not a huge deal breaker. Of course. And moving on to the cushion of course is not a huge deal breaker also, as in like if you just need to play that day, it's not gonna it's not a huge deal breaker.
Yeah.
So if you have like a Kyrie 3 cushion, if it's stiff as hell, it's okay. Your feet are gonna hurt after playing like a week or whatever, but a few days. But it's gonna be okay. It's not gonna be like, oh, I can't play it at all right now.
Exactly.
So that's cushion. All right. The three things that performance shoe need to have for us is, of course, support and lockdown. If you have bad lockdown, you're not and support, and you're not just locked into the shoe, and your foot is just moving around in the shoe at all times, and you have really bad responsiveness, then I can't play in that shit.
It feels dangerous. It feels unstable. You can hurt your toe and your feet by chafing and rubbing because you're not being locked down. You also may not be as sure-footed stepping around, and it may actually affect your game. Because you're thinking about your shoe while you're playing. That's the last thing you should be thinking about when you're playing basketball, is your shoe, and are you locked down, and that's the last thing you should be thinking about.
Yeah, if I have that problem, I can't play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Another thing is fit. If the fit is bad, if it's too wide, if it's too roomy in the toe area, that's really annoying. And if it's too wide, you're gonna be sliding around, which is bad lockdown at all.
Exactly.
And laces together.
Or if it's too tight in a certain area, strangulating your foot.
Exactly.
Your foot's falling asleep. It's either, sometimes a shoe, it doesn't have a good fit, and it's either two things. I'm either choking my foot out, and there's no blood flow, or I'm loose.
Yes.
Right? And that's not a good fit either.
Yes. I wonder how companies can fix that shit. You know what I'm saying? What is the remedy to that?
I don't know. There is a remedy because some shoes don't have that. I don't know what they're doing, but...
Yeah. But, okay, and another one, of course, number one is traction. If you're going to be slipping around all over the damn place, that is not good. And it's dangerous, first of all, like in the Jordan 31. You can, you know, roll your ankle, blow out your knee or whatever.
Yeah.
And you just can't play if the traction sucks.
And that's another one that'll really affect your game, too, because if your traction sucks, you may not go for that crossover.
Exactly.
When you should have, you know,
exactly,
just because you're trying to protect your legs and your feet. So, and it's kind of in the back of your mind thinking about how you don't feel really too sure-footed, and then it starts affecting your game. And it's like that's the last thing a shoe should be doing is actually affecting your mindset while you're playing basketball.
Yes.
So, in our opinion, those are the three most important factors when picking a basketball shoe. And with any one of those three sucking, it's a deal breaker.
Yes.
Now, a great shoe has all three of those.
An amazing shoe has everything.
Has everything.
You know, but a really, really good shoe has the 5 traction, fit, cushion, support / lockdown, and materials. And then durability, aesthetics, weight, all that is just okay.
But even if you just have traction, support, and fit, you can get away with that.
Exactly.
Fit lockdown. You're good. You can get away with it. As long as, you know, you like it, it's in your price range.
Which I think the Carby 3s do.
Yeah.
You know? So...
I guess that's another category is price range, too.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
But you know, we're talking about strictly performance.
But you can't really, like, if it's too expensive, you can't be like, oh, I can't play in these now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, unless you're like, oh, I don't want to play in these because they were expensive.
Yeah, then you should have bought them, so...
Exactly. But anyways, that's it. Tell us what your, the most important... Tell us what you say it.
Tell us what the most important category for you is in regards to a performance basketball shoe, and we can argue in the comments below and block you. No, I'm just joking. Catch you in the next one. Soul Brothers later.
Peace.